There are two zodiacs that I love to see get into a fight, and that is the Gemini and the Scorpio. And actually, the Gemini and the Scorpio have some of the biggest reputations in zodiac history. They are both known for their own individual characteristics that make them two of the most feared, hated, and even loved zodiacs. Well, mostly feared. They definitely have the biggest and baddest rap of all of the zodiacs is the Scorpio and the Gemini. And I will say, nobody feuds quite like these two. So let's get into why these two have such a turbulent relationship and how come these two have some major feuds that keep so many of us entertained. Well, first we have the Gemini, as we see right here as Tupac, who is the element of air ruled by the area of Mercury, and the areas of characteristics are known for their areas of intellectual conversations, communication, being very analytical, as they are known to have areas of the mind being covered. They're curious, they're able to adapt, and they are sociable. People like them. So let's look at the area traits of the Scorpio, which is currently being held by this man right here, known as Sean Puffy Combs. So they are a water element. They are ruled by the Mars and also Pluto. Their characteristics include intense, emotional, secretive, and determined, passionate energy cycles. And when we look at areas of compatibility and areas that are also very different, we have to remember that the Gemini, held by this man right here, Kendrick Lamar, is known for that socialization of good communication and structured conversations, while the Scorpio tends to be a little bit hidden and introspective and might have some deep, meaningful relationships and also discussions, but it's not something that they're going to share just right away. There is a lot of potential of conflict, as the Gemini seems to definitely be a little bit more lighthearted than the Scorpio and definitely can have that area that might feel superficial, while the Scorpio tends to really want to center on areas of passion and also areas of frustration, where the Gemini can basically shrug things off their shoulder and keep it pushing. And while the Gemini is very emotionally aligned, they do feel a little bit more detached, which could be brought to them from that air element. The Scorpio tends to be a little bit more selective in their areas of close circle. So while they might not invite everybody to the party, it's really because they have trust issues and insecurity issues where they know that their collective needs to remain small for certain situations. They also feel that a lot of area of socialization can almost come off a little bit too friendly, and the Scorpio does like to remain a little bit more hidden. And while both zodiacs definitely have their good and maybe negative energies or traits, we have to remember that their characteristics are also very different from each other, especially in areas of conflict. The Scorpio might feel a little bit insecure and definitely has a strong area of mistrust, especially by the Gemini's high antics. While the Gemini always asks for independence and more personal and gain, as we see the Gemini right here, Donald Trump, and the Scorpio, Joe Biden. And these two always have the best feuds, no matter what. Gemini and Scorpio, best feuds, no matter what. That's all I have to say.